Hello learners, in this video I will discuss about effective writing. But before you proceed, you need to write or compose your essay about yourself. You have to describe yourself so that whoever is reading your work will know some things about you. Then return to this activity after you are done with this module video lesson. Do not throw your work. Instead, attach your work to your portfolio or notebook that will serve as your pre-test for this module. Here are the competencies that you need to know and develop. These should be written on Assessment Form 1. Have you tried writing paragraphs? Do you find it difficult to write an essay? Do you know that there are several patterns to follow as a basis in writing essay and paragraphs? First, we need to know about rhetorical patterns. Rhetorical patterns are ways to organize information and ideas, and these patterns will serve as your guide to write your essay. When we speak of rhetorical patterns, we refer to a specific way of arranging information and ideas in a text or paragraph. We will only focus on the 6 rhetorical patterns. These patterns are the most well-known and are the easiest to understand. First is definition. Stating the group to which something belongs and how it is different from other members of the same group. For example, a Dalmatian belongs to the animal group called dogs. It is different in appearance from other dogs because of its white color and black spots. Notice that we are defining what is a Dalmatian. Another example, my hometown is Cebu, therefore I am a Cebuano. But I don't speak Visayan because I live and grew up in Quezon City. In this sentence, you said that you are a Cebuano, but you also stated that you are not part of that group because you don't speak Visayan language, because you grew up in Quezon City, which is in another group. Okay, so that is the definition, the first rhetorical pattern. Next, cause and effect. Telling what happens, the result, with reasons why it happened. Cause. For example, the underpass was flooded because it rained for 4 hours. The cause here is it rained for 4 hours. And the effect, the underpass was flooded. Another example, my parents are both deceased. That is why I am working to pay our bills and buy food to eat every day. Next, comparison. Describing the similarities and differences between two things. Example, the Americans and the Japanese are both leaders in the field of industry and economics. The style of management of the Japanese, however, is very different from that of Americans. Here you are comparing Americans and Japanese. You stated first their similarities, and as for the second sentence, you stated their differences. Another example, my sister and I love to listen K-pop songs, but we differ in groups that we listen to. She likes Blackpink and I like Red Velvet. Number 4, chronological order. Stating things in order in which they happened according to time. Example, the first living creatures were single-celled organisms. Then came fish, and then reptiles, then birds, and amphibians, and lastly, mammals. Another example is that when making steps in cooking or baking, but instead of numbered style or bullet style, you write it on or in a paragraph form. Next example, when I was a child, I was very naughty and got in trouble a lot. But then as a teenager, I have changed and become quieter and got into less trouble. Right now, I can say that I am a very nice person and rarely ever have problems with other people. Here you are stating or you are telling to the readers what you are before or when you were a child up to until now. Decreasing importance. Stating information in order of importance from the most important to least important. Example, when choosing a job, it is important to consider that you are qualified for it. The salary is worth the amount of work you would be doing. That the type of job is suitable for you and that you will enjoy it. Other small things to keep in mind would be the benefits, the working environment, and the type of people that you will be working with. In decreasing importance, we don't omit the less important. Instead, we still include it and still connected to the main topic. Just like in the second example, my main characteristics include my being assertive, sensible, friendly, and mature. Also, there are times when I can be fun to be with. Last pattern, developing through examples. Describing what you are writing about by providing examples. Hygiene refers to cleanliness in terms of your body and surrounding. Example of hygienic practices would include regular baths and daily household cleaning. Another example, I am normally a calm person, but I get angry sometimes. For example, I get angry when I get stuck in a traffic jam for 3 hours and then I am late for work, or when I cannot take a bath because there is no water. Most compositions use more than one rhetorical pattern. Sometimes, one pattern is used for one paragraph and a different pattern for another. But this will depend on why are you writing the composition in the first place. So, it is important to ask yourself, what is the purpose of this piece of writing? Once you have answered this, it becomes easier to choose a pattern. If you are going to write an essay that needs to argue or point out your opinion, then follow this pattern. Decreasing importance, comparison, cause and effect, developing through examples. If you're going to write an essay to inform people to make them aware of something, then follow these patterns. Definition, developing through examples, and comparison. To entertain or amuse the reader, the possible patterns are developing through examples and decreasing importance. You may also include definition, but it's still up to you as a writer. For giving instruction, the best patterns are chronological order and cause and effect. To make the reader think and ask questions, the possible patterns are comparison, definition, and decreasing importance. Now, after knowing the patterns, we need to add transitions in order to form sentences into paragraph. We don't just only write the whole sentence and then a period will come after, then another sentence will be added. We need transitions for you to show meaningful relationship between the main idea and the supporting points. Transition words or phrases can be placed at the beginning, middle, or end of a sentence. Here are the transition words: therefore, however, mentioned. On the other hand, in addition to, in line with, plus, thus, for example, and, besides, so, also, so far, in relation to. Now take a look at this. First, you need to write your purpose of your writing. Then followed by bulleted or numbered type for your main points. Just make sure when writing your main points in paragraph form, you need to add transition words. Just like this. For example, in addition to this, furthermore. Just to make it more clearer and presentable for the readers, and more formal in writing an essay. The last paragraph of any composition is the conclusion. This should tie in with your introduction, and it could also be similar in content. The introduction is the first paragraph which states the main idea and presents the main points, while the conclusion is the last paragraph which restates the main idea and summarizes the main points. In writing conclusion, it is important to keep in mind the following. Use paraphrasing or restatements. Change the original verb in the introduction with another verb that has the same meaning. So example, the government asserted. When restated, for your conclusion, the verb now has announced. Restate the main idea and summarize the main points. Shorten the content of your text by leaving out unimportant details so it can fit into one sentence or paragraph. Just like this. The first key factor is, the second is, the third is, and the last is, but in your summary or conclusion, it should be like this. These are 4 key factors which are, and then you may continue using transition words. And the main idea of your paragraph should be written last. This is the last portion and should be well emphasized. So here is an example of introduction and conclusion. As you can see, the conclusion is much shorter than the introduction. And both are using transition verbs. Now it's time for your written activity. Answer what you have learned, pages 19 to 20. That is the end of my discussion. Thank you for listening. I hope you understand our lesson today. Good luck on answering your post test or written activity.